Morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the June 6th, 2024 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 30th, 2024,
I would defer the minutes of the meeting.
and I concur. Number 5, bid openings. I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Mr. Button, Mark, you guys good? Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting the approval of change order number 20, a time extension with Reith Riley Construction submitted for approval.
This is Hammond Avenue. Through no fault of the contractor, they're asking for additional time. It's been reviewed by the consultant, and we recommend your approval.
Okay,
I recommend approval.
and I concur. Moving on to letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $32,400 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Hammond Avenue reconstruction, change order number 21, toll theater, vaulted sidewalk with Reith Riley Construction submitted for approval.
When they removed the sidewalk, they found that the supporting pieces underneath the sidewalk were severely corroded and wouldn't survive the next installation of sidewalk, so we had to basically shore that up. The Capital Improvement Board met on Monday and approved the funding allocation, so I'd ask for your approval of the change order and the funding allocation.
Okay, and it has been signed by the controller and the mayor,
Okay. I recommend approval.
and I concur. Letter C, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $62,500 of CIB funding to be allocated for the 2024-2 CCMG Columbia Avenue 167th to Summer Street design and agreement for professional services with United Consulting submitted for approval.
So this fall, actually in July, we're planning on submitting for a community crossing matching grant, which is what the CCMG means. It's 50-50, where we contribute 50% of the funds and NDOT contributes the other 50. They have increased the contribution for that to $1.5 million from the state, so we would match 1.5.
Okay.
We've picked this location. If we believe that it'll come under, we'll find another spot to do that. But for now, we're asking for an agreement with United Consulting to do the design for us. And we met on Monday night at the Capital Improvement Board and approved the funding. So I'd ask for your approval.
Okay, it has also been signed by the controller and the mayor,
Okay. I recommend approval.
and I concur.
Thank you.
Letter D, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $12,700 of CIB funding to be allocated for the 171st Street extension, design and agreement for professional services with Lockmuller Group submitted for approval.
I believe there's a typo.
Would-
I think the amount is much higher than 12,000.
72,700 is the amount.
Thank
Yeah.
you. This is for the design of the connector road that will connect 171st at Kentucky to the new Governor's Parkway, which was not included in the original NDOT design for that project. So we're just making that connector road as requested by the mayor. We met on Monday night at the Capital Improvement Board and approved the funding for this. So I'd ask for your approval of the agreement and the funding allocation. Thank you.
Again, it's been signed by the controller and the mayor.
Yeah, I recommend approval, and the correct price is $72,700.
Yes,
Okay.
and I concur. 72,700, yes,
Yes,
sir. And I concur. Letter E, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $100,000 of CIB funding to be allocated for the grant writing assistance and agreement with Aegis BLN USA Incorporated submitted for approval.
We really don't have a grant writer, and the mayor asked us to look into being able to find a consultant that could help us do that because generally the technical nature that's required and the information that we need to pull together and cost estimations and those sorts of things to be able to apply for grants. And so we reached out to Aegis BLN, and they provided us a proposal, which we're very pleased with. This is just a budget amount at this point, and as we work towards grants, we'll sort of burn that amount down. This was approved at the Capital Improvement Board meeting on Monday night, so I'd ask for your approval of the agreement and the funding allocation.
Okay, it was also signed by the controller and the mayor,
I recommend approval.
and I concur.
Thank you.
Letter F, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting the approval for the request for proposals for the City of Hammond Station Square.
Station Square is the area immediately west of the proposed new downtown Hammond train station as part of the Hammond Master Plan. And this is a solicitation that we need to do because we're a direct recipient of federal money through the forum. We're using ready money to do this project. And so it's similar to what we did with the solicitation for the station design. So that's a process you're going to see periodically. So we're asking for the design of the roadway system and the park area and the future development that could occur at that location. So I'd ask for your approval of the solicitation.
Okay.
I recommend approval.
And I concur.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Button. Letter G, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of the retirement of Sergeant Joseph Martinez, who has served the citizens of Hammond for more than 21 years, effective the close of business on June 8th, 2024, and requesting the following officers to receive Spanish-speaking specialty pay retroactive to May 22nd, 2024. Alonzo Lopez, Edgar Martinez, Anthony Armeo, and Daniel Heredia.
I recommend Chief Short's request.
And I concur. Moving on to letter H, correspondence received from Bernie Gazzolia, Fire Chief, requesting the approval of the promotion of Battalion Chief Daniel Diambala be promoted to the rank of AC Drill Master retroactive to June 1st, 2024.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter I, correspondence received from the Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal of amusement device license for Frankie V's Bar and Grill.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter J, correspondence received from Felix Gonzalez, Director, requesting to close Columbia Bridge south of 175th Street and River Drive on June 11th, 2024, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. for tree trimming. I did talk to him yesterday. He's going to have supervisors on both ends with trucks, so if fire and police need to get through, they can move and allow us to get through.
Yeah, I was hoping, that's a pretty well-traveled spot. I was thinking that it might be nice to have the notification signs out there just to remind people.
Prior to 175th? Yeah.
I'll take ours out there.
Okay,
Just,
Yeah.
close 6:11, 9 to 1 or something.
Okay, gotcha.
okay,
In advance so that people know that.
gotcha.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter K, correspondence received from Captain Tom Strabavi requesting to close off the 7,000 block of Meadow Lane for the annual Greek Fest and requesting 4 barricades starting June 7th, 2024 at the close of business and to be picked up on the morning of June 10th, 2024, submitted for approval. Okay.
I recommend approval and also send it to Public Works for barricades.
And I concur. Letter L, correspondence received from Unilever requesting to have on-street parking along Calumet Avenue, north of Indianapolis Boulevard on both the east and west side of the street from June 10th through the 19th, 2024, due to upcoming factory outage.
Do you have no objection with that?
Good.
That's not marked, no parking, right, sir?
I don't recall.
I don't either, yeah.
Good to go?
Okay. I recommend approval.
And I concur. Matters from board members, do you have anything?
No, sir.
You're showing a lot of moxie today.
I know.
You can see it, I can see it too.
help
Number
myself.
9, new business. Letter A, agreement to purchase real estate for property located at 5529 Walter Avenue, submitted for approval.
Good morning, Mr. President and Board.
morning.
This is again part of our Jacob Square project, and I believe it's to a neighboring landowner, so we can move forward. So I request its approval as presented.
You got it.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter B, amendment to agreement for the collection and process of residential recyclables, submitted for approval.
Yes, this is a 4-year extension to the city's recycling contract. As the mayor stated in public several occasions, he believes that while other communities are getting rid of their recycling programs, it's important to keep it. Hammond, based on my conversations with Republic, we're at about a 78% approval rate. I don't know what you call it, but versus other communities which are much lower. So we're happy about that, and I think it has to do with the fact that we have Republic employees dealing with the recycling versus our public works folks that are just dealing with the garbage, which is helpful because then they don't kind of combine things. So this is a great thing. It also was a very fair contract. The first 3 years, I think, are only a 25 cents per bin or whatever, per can increase, and then there's a little bit higher because we wanted a 4-year. But I'd request its approval as presented.
Okay.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter C, resolution to enter into an agreement with Hammond Port Authority regarding the payment of invoices regarding the milling and paving of Thomas M. McDermott Senior Way submitted for approval.
So the Port Authority already passed this on Tuesday evening at their meeting. This is to allow the Port Authority to take advantage of the annual paving contract that the city has with Milestone North Contractors. And so I believe the work's already going out there, so I'd request, and the board will receive the invoices, approve them, and then send them out to the Port Authority, which I think is a kind of a normal procedure for payment, and then they're gonna pay the bills.
Okay.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter D, order to rescind and release order to demolish property located at 1427 Sherman Street, submitted for approval.
1427 Sherman, I believe this one is, I don't know, knocked down or fixed up? I don't know on this one. This is knocked down just like Alexander? Okay, so it's been demolished, and I think it's because of a sale, so we'd request that the order be rescinded. It's been resolved.
Okay.
1427 Sherman is knocked down? Or rehab, do you know? Okay, well, I'm gonna check my email on this one, so if we could defer this until I can make sure I know what's going on in this one.
Okay.
And then, but I am ready for the next one, Alex.
Okay, we'll defer letter D, we'll come back to that. Letter E, order to rescind and release order to demolish property located at 6715 Alexander, submitted for approval.
This one I do know about, because there's been a lot of emails flying around. They're trying to close on it. We did determine, Linda helped me figure out with Kiki down in building that, or inspections, that they self-demolished it a while ago, and they are paying all our costs and other items. So I'd request the order to rescind be signed, and then Linda will get it over to the title company, who will record it. We're not recording, I don't think we're recording that, Linda, they will. Okay, but double check that.
I recommend approval.
And I concur.
Thank you. I'm gonna do some research on 1427.
Okay. Letter F, right-of-way permits. Looks like there's 4 of them, received from engineering, submitted for approval.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
So we have 2 for Comcast and 1 from AT&T, small bore jobs. They went through the water department and they approved them. And the other one being Cocky Street in Douglas at the Nickty tracks. They are going to pave that, but they're gonna pave it under flagging.
Okay.
So it should last maybe a half day, or it's a small job. So
Okay.
I recommend approval.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay.
I recommend approval. Of the right-of-way permit, sorry.
That's okay. And I concur. You good? Go ahead. And I concur. Letter G, plat of survey for the Central Fire Addition, submitted for approval.
Mr. Pearl.
Good morning, Mr. Poland.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank
Good.
you. This is a 2-lot subdivision called Central Fire. This is reflective of the fire station and a parcel owned by the Swanell Company. It is memorializing the property swap that was done several months ago, properly dedicating some street segments and creating an access easement that is serving the future development of the Swanell building. Just note there's 2 places on the Mylars to be signed as co-owner or co-petitioner and your normal Board of Works signature.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
I recommend approval.
And I concur. Letter H, garage sale permits, submitted for approval. That looks like there's quite a few.
Yeah. Get a new garage out of the deal. Okay. I recommend approval of the garage sale permits.
And I concur. Moving on to letter I, request for advertising dates of June 20th, 2024, and June 27th, 2024, with a bid opening of July 11th, 2024, for the demolish of 6827 Kennedy Avenue submitted for approval.
Yes, so this is a property owned by redevelopment, owned by the city. It's been acquired recently. It's in the Kennedy Avenue kind of redevelopment area, and so we'd like to get it down so we can continue the redevelopment of that street.
Okay,
I recommend approval.
and I concur. Number 10, old business, letter A, demolition of,
Oh, could we go back?
sure,
Oh.
sure.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I meant to mention that.
That's
Before I
okay.
Stop talking here. So 1427 Sherman
Sherman.
is garage only. Linda reminded me that this was an agreement we made with the closing agent and real estate agent to have them pay part of the pretty old 2013 liens. There's been a lot of transfers since then, so kind of to avoid having a judge decide who's supposed to pay it or if they're supposed to pay it, we came to a settlement with them. They paid it, and this will allow them to go to closing on the property. So I'd request its approval as presented by the board.
So what are we approving, Kevin?
Order to rescind.
Order to rescind, okay, gotcha.
I recommend approval of the order to rescind.
And I concur.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to number 10, old business, letter A, demolition of 6411 Harrison.
Morning, Board.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Kearney.
Last week, we had Mr. Jimmy Elias here on behalf of this property. He had spoke about his brother coming in from Arizona, which I do not believe happened. I've had a conversation with him a few days ago. He has informed us that the sister has found someone to buy the property. Although that hasn't happened yet, it seems to be the intent of someone to buy it and rehab it. A status date, I would say 30 days it should be done. And we could visit it at that point. I did tell him that he's obligated to tell the purchaser that it is under a demo order.
Okay.
And have him contact me so I can give him the proper steps to follow.
So do you, July 11th, 18th, 25th, does any one of them sound better than others?
I think
20.
11, I'd like to stay on this one
Okay.
July 11th?
and ask Linda to send a status letter to the owner.
Okay,
Actually, there's like 5 owners that have accepted this.
Status for July 11th?
July 11th, yeah.
Yeah, I recommend status date of July 11th, 2024.
And I concur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Letter B, status for demolition of 54 Mason, owner's request. Good morning, ma'am.
I'm
Can you give us your name, ma'am?
Brenda Bergen.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm not able to live there anymore, so my siblings have been helping me clean it out, and I plan to sell it to rehabbers. I've had multiple people contact me interested in the building, and I wasn't aware that I had violations.
Okay.
So that's why I missed the court last week.
Okay, so you said you don't live there. Do you live in Hammond?
Yes, I do. Mhm.
Okay, okay.
I do.
What's the city's take on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about the comment about not getting notice that there's a violation. I mean, we did send certified mail, we sent regular mail, we published it in the paper. So, and I think, and we believe we got either no mail back or some mail back. So it's sent to the last notice. That's basically, what we do is we either check the title report for any new addresses.
Right.
We check the treasurer's website for where do your taxes get sent, and that's where they go. So if there's an issue with Ms. Bergen getting notice, she needs to update the treasurer of the county of where she wants her, those things sent, because
Okay.
we just send them to wherever it's of public record.
Gotcha.
I believe the order was entered last week, if I'm not mistaken.
It was,
And so we do have a valid demolition order. It'll be bid out. It sounds like what I would let Ms. Bergen know that is that, it's a process and it takes some time, so it doesn't all happen overnight. We probably don't even have a bid date yet. It'll be, I think we're choosing August for a bid date. And so it'll be at least that time if she needs to get her personal belongings out. But it sounds like,
So
know-
it is going to be demolished?
no. If you have okay, so what I would mention to you is if you could meet with Mr. Kearney after the hearing.
I will.
Because there's a process that the board will, they've passed a resolution that says, here's the process to get your property rehabbed.
Okay.
And that is you have to pay for an inspection downstairs.
Okay.
The inspector will go out and do an inspection, produce a report.
Okay.
That will result in a rehab agreement that the board will consider once you've had a chance to review it and sign it.
Okay,
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's, I guess what I'm saying is there's time to get this resolved.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Okay, so no action today, or we're just gonna,
no, because the next action, as far as I'm concerned, will either be that the owner goes down and pays for the inspection. I think it's $150, okay? And then that will allow a potential rehab. Otherwise, the next thing you'll see is the bid.
the follow through for the,
Yeah.
okay. You understand all that, ma'am?
Yes, I
So
do.
just meet with Mr. Kearney after the meeting's over
Okay.
today, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
No action.
No
Okay.
action on letter B.
Okay.
Letter C, status for 1463 Indianapolis Boulevard.
Anybody here on 1463 Indianapolis?
1463 Indianapolis Boulevard.
We have a valid rehab agreement that is set to expire June 8th. The report from Mr. Luter is that the contractor has begun work, electric service was approved, but the job hasn't progressed to a point of any other inspections. We've had this in and out several times. They're trying to save this place. It seems like the work is going, but it's slow. We're probably gonna need a rehab extension, so I'll get that before the board in the near future, and then we'll set a status.
So no action today?
No action today, except to say that we'll set a, we'll get the rehab in front of you.
Okay, so there's no action on 1463 Indianapolis Boulevard?
Well, I mean, if you want to set a 90-day status, I don't think that would,
Okay.
and then that way we just won't set it again when we
Okay.
get the rehab.
So September 5th, 12th, any one of those?
Yeah, either one.
12th?
Sure.
September 12th will be the date, Donnie?
Number 12. Okay.
Yep.
I set this for status for September 12th, 2024.
And I concur. Letter D, status for 941 Reese.
941 Reese, anybody for 941 Reese?
941 Reese.
All right, the rehab was signed, it expired June 1st, which is why we have the status set for today. Per Mr. Luter, the job is progressing, but a new plumbing contractor is needed. We need a new status date, if we could have that September date.
The September 12th,
Uh-huh.
okay?
Okay. Recommend September 12th, 2024 for status date.
And I concur. Letter E, status for 6333 Garfield.
6333 Garfield, you may remember, is the one that the board just recently waived the bond. Hi, do you guys want to come up?
Yeah, I was hoping there was a good story attached to this.
Good morning. So as the board is aware, it waived the bond for the owner who's present here today, I think with her dad, right? Or her friend, yes?
Yes.
Father, yes?
Father, yeah.
And what's happened is that the new contractor is going to be needed due to the amount of work that needs to be done. And we're requesting a new status date because the rehab agreement did expire on June 1st. And I will make sure that we get a new extended rehab agreement over to the owner. So if we could have that September date, September 12th.
September
date.
12th. Make sure is she,
Okay.
okay, sounds good.
I recommend we set this for status for September 21st,
September
2024.
12th.
I'm sorry, September 12th, I'm sorry.
And I concur.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the board lets the owner know, like, that the expectations are to continue to get, work done and keep moving forward, which they're doing, which they're trying to do, which is great.
Could you let her know that, you did? I did. We expect to see continued progress, yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
great, thank you. Thank you.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks for your help today, too. Letter F, status for 30 Warren.
30 Warren. 30 Warren, the contractor has begun work. We have a rehab agreement that expired June 1st. Electric service has been approved, but the job has not progressed to a point of any other inspections. We request a new status date, so if we could have that
Number 12.
September 12th date.
Okay,
I recommend we set 31 to September 12th, 2024 for status date.
and I concur.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 11, late rental registration hearings. We're going to start off with letter A, 621 Burton. If you're here for 621 Burton.
Mr. Urbina?
Good morning. Sir, can you come over to this side? Thank you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Armando.
Good morning, my name is Armando.
Okay, can you give us his name?
Good morning, my name is Armando.
Okay, his full name, sorry.
Su nombre completo.
Armando Avina.
Okay.
Y estoy aquí porque
I'm here to dispute my rental registration.
llegó tarde y no tengo el dinero para pagar los $500.
I don't have the money to
Tengo-
pay the $500 late fee,
Este llegó el 5/18.
and this registration notice
Un
came
sábado.
on a Saturday on
Yo
May
vine un
18th.
lunes aquí a decirles, pero me mandaron aquí.
I came here on a Monday, and they told me to come and appeal.
Okay, can you let him know that every year between January 1st and April 15th, he has to pay the $5, and what happened between that time period?
Cada año tiene que renovar su registración, empezando el inicio del año hasta el día 15 de abril. Así que, ¿por qué fue la razón por qué no registró este año?
Se me olvidó, no recordé hasta que llegó el papel.
I forgot. I didn't remember until I got the notice.
Okay,
Good morning.
good morning.
This is a two-unit property. Mr. Avina has owned the property since 2004. We are here for a single rental unit for 2024, and he has registered on time and has been cooperative in anything that we've requested in the past as far as inspections and removals go. This is the first time he's late.
You did say one unit because it says two on the sheet.
There are two units present. He
Oh, one
he
rental.
occupies one
Oh,
as an
okay.
owner-occupied unit, and then one is a rental property unit.
Sí.
Okay,
Número tres.
so if you could let him know that we're going to waive the late fee today because it's his first time, but going forward, he's gonna have to make sure he gets it paid between January 1st and April 15th.
Le van a decir que ya no tiene que pagar la penalidad, que esté consciente que el inicio del año hasta el día 15 de abril tiene que registrar su propiedad cada año por los $5, pero este año sí lo van a quitar la multa.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Tenga un lindo
And,
día.
and if he would, and this goes for everybody that's on the list today, if he'd like to stay till after the meeting, he'll get a copy of this and take it downstairs and he can pay the $5 rental fee.
Le van a dar una carta diciendo que le van a quitar la multa cuando se termina el juicio de hoy, y entonces ya puede ir para abajo a
Claro
registrar
que
su
sí.
propiedad.
Muchísimas gracias.
Have a
Que
good
tenga
day.
buen día.
Thanks for your help also.
I recommend we waive the late fee for 621 Burton Court.
And I concur. Letter B, 6651 Howard, 6649 Alabama, and 7116 Missouri. I assume they're all the same owner, right? Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you give us your name, please?
Yes, Richard Francis.
Okay. Could you tell us what happened, Mr. Francis?
Normally, I'm good about making my rental registrations, but my brother got rushed to the hospital. I usually push it pretty close, to be honest, but it just kind of flipped my memory upside down, and then in May, like 15th, I remembered and I rushed down here, but it was too late.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for the first property, 6651 Howard Avenue, we do have Mr. Francis as the owner since 2006. In 2017, he changed his home address. However, he's still claiming a homestead tax exemption at this property location, so we would request that he complete the removal form here that I've filled out and submitted, and then get it back to us by the end of the meeting to remove that homestead on the rental property, as he's, claimed one on the other one as well. So this property owes for 2004 currently, and it was in front of the board previously in 2021, where the owner failed to appear. There was a $500 late fee assessed for failing to register for 2020. So it's a two-unit property. There was one late fee assessed, and then the $5 for each unit as a two-unit rental. And that's same across the board, all three properties. Now, the Alabama address, it's actually the property that he owns is 6946 Alabama, not 6649. With that one, it's a single, or I'm sorry, yes. Only owner of record owes for 2024, and then there was previous action for missing 2020 in 2021 as the owner failed to appear for that hearing. 510 was assessed for that address. And then 7116 Missouri, owner since 2009, missed 2024. Previous action in 21 for failing to register for 2020, 505 assessed for that address as well. So I believe two properties are 2 units, and then one is a single-family home. All had been brought in front of the board in 2021.
Okay.
Mr. Francis, I don't know what happened in the year before, 2024, 2020, or 21, whatever it was. But I'll tell you that I don't know how we can waive all 5 of them today because, as we said, we normally only make this one time.
Okay.
So we are going to, in reference to Howard, we're going to apply the late fee for one of the units.
Okay.
In reference to Alabama, we're going to do the same thing.
Okay.
And I think we're going to waive it for Missouri. But I can tell you, Mr. Francis, if you come before us again, it's going to be for all 5.
I understand.
So you have to make whatever necessary changes to make sure you get here and pay the rental fee, okay? Okay.
Okay, I recommend that we would use our assess 1 late fee for 6651 Howard, 1 late fee for 6946 Alabama, right, Nick?
Yes, so the address would be 6946 Alabama,
Okay, 1 late fee for that one, and then waive it for 7116 Missouri.
and that the homestead tax deduction.
And
form
then
gets
homestead
completed.
taxes come off, correct?
Thank you.
You understand that part, Mr. Francis?
I just got to fill this out.
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Yep.
I highlighted
Okay.
the areas there, just complete those, and then I'll make a copy for you downstairs. Great, thank you. Cool.
Okay, thank you. I concur.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Letter C, 928 Highland Street. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can we have your name, please?
Tracy Bassett Davis.
Okay. Ms. Bassett, what happened?
My father passed away in spring, on the first day of spring of 2022, and we were in the process of getting the house quit deeded over to me
Okay.
and my brother, but I ended up being the one to have the house.
Okay.
And so he still lives in the house. And so we weren't aware of there being, rental fee.
Rental
This
fee
is my
needed.
husband, I'm sorry.
Morning,
Right,
morning,
Daisy. And so we weren't aware of there being any, thing that was in need of being paid because we were in the process of trying to get the house back. It was a reverse mortgage situation.
So your brother lives in the house?
My brother stayed in the house to take care of my parents.
Okay, so there was no rent paid?
No, not from him.
Okay.
The property was registered last in 2019, and in years prior to that, now it was under, her father's name, Ernest Bassett, right?
Yes.
So in 2019, that was the last year it was registered, and then it was transferred into her name in 2022. Lake County Assessor still reflects her as the owner, however, Lake County Treasurer does have the mortgage company, like she had a reverse mortgage, I guess, which would still leave them in control of the property per se until that reverse mortgage is finalized, and then the bank would take over ownership. Water records do indicate that there was consistent usage to support occupancy from 2022 through today's current date, 2024, and then Ms. Bassett just recently put the bill in her name in May of '24. So the water bill would have still been in the father's name and mailed to the address in the previous years. Now, there was action before the board, I believe, just double check, in 2015, that was dismissed. However, then reconnects occurred in 2022 for 2 West. It's a multi-unit,
Yes.
a 2-unit, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and so, the property is being occupied, for the previous year. So if her brother lived in one, and then if her father passed in 22 and she took over ownership, then, the other unit would need to be accounted for. She could fill out an affidavit for the unit that her brother occupies, because immediate family who doesn't pay rent isn't required to register as a rental.
Okay.
But the other unit would need to be accounted for.
Who did stay in the other unit?
We had a tenant in there, I'm her husband, Mark Davis.
Good morning, Mr.
And
Davis.
how you doing?
Good.
And the unit, since her dad passed, all of it, as of last year, nobody was living there except for her brother.
Okay.
So recently, when we went through the reverse mortgage thing, we was trying to get a tenant in there, you know, to quiet show the bank that, you know, we're trying to pay the money back or whatever. And I remodeled the apartment, did a little paint, put new carpeting in, and we had a tenant in there as of September, I think it is, she got the paper, September the 9th of 23. But I know it was on the, in September that the gentleman acquired the apartment. Now, up until probably about April, he never was on time with the payments. Then April, he paid a partial payment. And at the time, we was fighting the reverse mortgage company. By the time we acquired a lender, they rejected our offer. They took possession of the property. So the guy's still living there. He's living rent-free. Her brother is in there for the remainder of the time until the mortgage company come and put them out.
Right.
But we didn't have the property that long. We didn't know anything about the rental fee. If we would have paid it. And anything other than that, I mean, she no longer owns the property.
Well, we're here for 24, right?
Well, there hasn't been a registration since 2019.
Okay.
And so if she took over ownership in 22, they didn't have a tenant in there until 23, technically they would over 23 and 24.
So, but then that's all, there's no other issue, and you need an affidavit for the one unit that the brother was staying in?
Correct.
Okay. So, because it's your first time today, we'll waive the late fee for 23 and 24. So you'll owe $5 for each year, but you're gonna have to fill out an affidavit, and Nick can tell you how to do that after the meeting's over with. Just saying your brother lived in one of the units during that time.
Okay.
You understand that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to stay, he'll explain that process to you, and then you can pay the $10 today if you'd like to.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Okay?
you, sir.
So
Or-
with the
yeah,
PHH mortgage, we don't have to send out any paperwork stating that it's
Nick?
in there?
No, so the Lake County Treasurer does reflect them as the owner, but as far as the reverse mortgage goes, that's gonna be whatever's dependent on your particular agreement. Like, so I would consult an attorney to see
other
what you
unit, they
would be
need an
required to legally notify them of, and then go from there.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, my recommendation is for 23 and 24, we're going to waive the late fee, and then the other unit, they're going to have to do the affidavit.
And I concur. Thank you, folks. Letter D, 1647 Myrtle. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you give us your name, please?
Sure, it's Ann Schutz.
Good morning, Ms. Schutz.
Hi.
Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, my brother passed. This was his home, and he was renting their unit upstairs, and it's still occupied. And he passed in November, and my brother and I were willed the home, and we had no idea there was
A fee
a
required?
fee. Yeah.
Gotcha. Are we here for?
It's just 24.
Just 24?
It has registered on time previous years. And so we would just request that she submit an affidavit for the unit that her brother occupied as vacant, and then, the registration for the second unit that's still occupied by the tenant.
So it's only one unit that we're talking
Correct.
about? Okay. Did you understand that part, ma'am?
So, yeah, so if we rent out both units, we'll have
Yes.
to do the $10
Yep.
for next year? Or,
Well, it depends.
Do whenever you get your tenant in,
if you-
yeah.
gotcha.
If you have a tenant in there, if you got a tenant in
She's
there
staying.
tomorrow, you would have 30 days from the time that lease is signed to register for the regular rate.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I recommend that we waive the
Late fee for one
one
unit?
unit and then the affidavit for the other one,
Yep.
for 2024.
And I concur. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, letter E, 7504 Madison. Good morning.
Rogelio Sánchez.
Rogelio Sánchez.
Okay, got you. Could you ask him what happened?
¿Qué pasó con...?
Vine porque es la primera vez que rento mi casa y realmente no sé los trámites que tienen que hacer y se me pasó la fecha de
My first time renting the property, and I had no idea about the registration, and when I found out, it was already too late.
When did he rent it?
¿Cuándo lo empezó a rentar?
como el abril, 14 de abril. Por ahí.
¿Abril de este año? April of this year.
April of this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so this is the first time it's going to be registered or occupied as a rental. So I would just request that the owner complete the checked off areas for the homestead removal form, and then return that to us, but it's never been occupied as a rental prior, so this would be his first time.
So if you could let him know, ma'am, we're gonna waive the late fee today, and he needs to fill that out to take the homestead exemption off the house.
Le van a quitar la multa para este año. Tiene que llenar este formulario aquí para que le quiten el rebajo de los impuestos y ya puede registrar la propiedad y el próximo año, que cuando inicie el año hasta el día 15 de abril tiene la oportunidad de esos 4 veces y medio para registrar la propiedad por $5 cada año sin falta. ¿Está bien?
Sí, está bien.
Okay,
I recommend we waive the late fees, and he has to take the homestead off the property.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Entonces sí que va a tener que firmar eso.
I concur. She's a real stickler over there, huh?
I know, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. Letter F, 1943 Superior, looks like there's 3 of them,
I think
although it
it's
says 2. Is
Yeah.
it 2 or 3?
Two rentals, one owner occupied.
Gotcha.
two,
Good morning, sir.
Hello, good
Could you
morning.
give us your name, please?
Jose Rivera.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened?
So I usually pay, I come in, I send a friend to come in and get it because I work at the same times. So it's hard, and like when you guys are off holidays, I'm off as well. So it was hard to get through. I had no idea about the online thing at all. So yeah, that's just the honest truth. I
Okay.
came late. It was a day late. I thought I could turn it in, but
Too late.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too
I
late.
apologize.
Yeah,
Will never happen
We're
again.
not online just yet, but we're working on it. But the property is a 3-unit with 1 owner occupied, so we have 2 rental units, correct?
No, it's 2 units.
2 units. 2
Yes,
units.
I
one owner.
live in one.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
well, 2
So
units.
then he would only be required to register the 1 unit. He has registered on time previous years, and we're just here for 2024 for the 1 rental then.
Okay. As we've mentioned before, sir, just make sure in the future that somehow, hopefully it'll be online soon, but if it's not, you'll have to get in here one of those days, okay?
Will happen.
Okay.
I'm trying.
I recommend that we waive the late fee for the 1 unit, and the other one's owner occupied.
And I concur. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
come on, Nick, hurry it up, would you?
Oh,
For God's
man.
sakes.
Yeah, Nick, come on.
Okay.
Letter G, 243 Ogden, 251 Ogden, and 4612 Oak. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Could you give us your name?
My name is J. Carmen Ayola,
Okay?
and actually, I don't have too much excuses. I simply forgot, as I was getting a little older, I start forgetting things, you know how it is. And,
Yeah, don't mention that,
and
you
I
too.
mean, I was having little issues, with the family or so, but that is not an excuse, to be clear. And I know that was my responsibility to do this, but I completely forgot, and I was hoping that you guys can help me out a little, whatever, I don't know.
Have we had any problems there before, Nick?
No.
Any of
we,
them?
243 Ogden is a single-family home for just missed 2024. 251 through 53 Ogden is a 3-unit here for 2024 only, and then 4612 Oak, single-family home only for 2024, and it's been registered on time in previous years.
Let's see, 15.
All right, we're going to recommend we waive the late fees on all 3 properties, but again, make sure, like you heard, make sure you get them in between
Yes, sir.
January 2nd, April 15th.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
I will.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
I concur, 'cause I I gotta concur. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm having a rough day with that concur thing.
That'll do it.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks,
We
Nick.
appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Okay.
Meeting's open to the public.
The meeting's open to the public. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say?
Chris? Oh, anybody else? Okay,
I'll concur if you want. Okay.
I recommend that we adjourn the meeting.
I concur. Thank you, everyone.